Hi guys, I'm here with Stefan Basamac. He just went 5-0 at the Card Brawlers Remote Duel Yu-Gi-Oh! Day. What did you play today?
So I played Invoked, Invoked Dogmatika.
How did the event go for you?
Went pretty well. I 2-0'd most of my opponents.
Oh yeah, okay.
Only my finals I lost the game.
And that's gonna be a bit of a challenge. So yeah, Stefan just went 5-0 over like a 30 players field, and he's going to show us his list. Let's go.
Right, so let's start with the main.
Yep.
So it's pretty standard. We got 3 Alistairs, 3 Ecclesia, 2 Floodgates. Ratio that's not there very standard is 2 Maximus. So
Okay.
the reason why I played 2 Maximus is because I like going Maximus control. So in the grind game, Maximus generates a whole lot of advantage because you can just recycle your Entis with Omega. Also, there's a reason on my side why I played Maximus. I'll show you guys later.
Okay.
So to go on with the hand traps, we got 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash. So these are the most generic monster hand traps for the format. I could have played Ogre, but I went with Nibiru because it also hurts Virtual World.
Okay, yeah.
There's
that makes sense.
Yeah. To go on with the engines, we have triple Meltdown, Terraforming, triple Invocation. So 3 because I play Desires.
Okay.
Triple Nadir Servant. So those are the engine cards, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Next, we have the staples. So 3 Droplets, 3 Desires, and 3 Book of Moons. So let's start with Droplet. So it's a very good out to Dragoon, among other things. And in this deck, you have so many resources that you can just throw away at your opponent. For example, Meltdown, Alistair, they just sit on your board, not doing anything. So you can just throw them off at your opponent, then go Purgatrio and swing over everything that's halved.
Okay. Yeah, with Purgatrio that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does a whole lot of damage.
And why the Book of Moons?
So the Book of Moons were for 3 reasons. The reason one is because you want to dodge Imperm sometimes. Like sometimes you don't necessarily open the invocation, but you open the Alistair. So you want to actually surge the invocation. And the thing is, Alistair also has like his effect on his flip when he's flipped. So like if you set your Alistair, surge the invocation, leave your Alistair like that, if your opponent attacks over it, you can surge another invocation.
Okay, so you can just stall a turn with traps and get another one. Okay.
And then you can OTK because you just snowballed all the disadvantage on your opponent. And the third reason, the most important of all, is to clear boards. So like you can clear Trident, you can clear Mechaba, you can
remove the Buster Lock too.
You can remove the Buster Lock. That's pretty important because thank God we don't have to deal with that anymore.
So pretty much everything except the Dragoon that you have the droplets for.
Exactly.
Okay.
And next we have the traps. So pretty standard. 3 Imperms, most generic hand trap of the format after Ash, and 2 punishments.
Okay.
Because I like this card either pops 2 or pops 1 and access your engine. So it's pretty good in the control game, which I'm trying to go for.
Yeah, and no ICB?
No Ice Dragon, because I'm pretty scared of back removal. For example, Duster, Storm, and Evenly.
Yeah.
And I like having stuff that's chainable, or in the form of hand traps.
Okay. So do you want to go into the extra deck first?
Next we can go into the extra deck, yeah.
Sure.
So we got the Almirage and Secure Garna, which is pretty standard for any Invoke list.
As long as the new set isn't out.
I mean, I'm still going to play those.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, because this is an
yeah,
access to Purgatrio. And Purgatrio ends game on his own, so... next we have the Access Code package. I did not go into any of those, but in theory, if your opponent stops every play that you have, you're going to be left with a bunch of bodies on board. And Alistair can turn into a fire, which can turn into Hita, which can revive an Ash, which can go into Selene, and then Access Code.
Okay, so it's there to punish Ash.
Yeah. So Access Code and Mechaba is game.
Oh yeah, you don't have to tell me.
And this package is even better with Ice Dragon, which I'm probably going to play next format, because you can just revive an Ash, and with your Alistair or your Ecclesia, you can just go into the whole package. Next, we got the Invoked. So 2 Mechaba, 2 Agoides, and 1 Purgatrio. So I went with 2 Agoides just because, like, in a grind game, it's really good. The first one you go for like to control your opponent, because you put it in defense mode, it's 28, they can't get over it, and when they special summon a monster, you can just destroy it. And the second one, you go for OTKs.
Okay, yeah.
Because like by turn 2 or 3, the game is pretty much over.
1 to buy a
with
turn and 1 to just go for the kill.
Exactly. Then you have the Ash Dragon for the Dogma engine, the 2 Ints, 1 Omega, and 1 Wind Pegasus Lightning Stir. So I guess this is the only non-standard card, I'd say. But it's pretty necessary because it allows you to out things that you couldn't out normally.
For example?
You've noticed that a lot of this stuff destroys, like access code, Nents, Ogoides, everything destroys. But the thing is, when you're facing down an Eldlich that has 3500 attack and cannot be destroyed, this is your best friend right here. You can set it off of Maximus, then run crash any monster into Eldlich, and then you just shuffle it back in the deck like it never happened. Same
for Dragoon, right?
Yeah, no.
No?
It targets,
oh,
unfortunately.
Too bad.
But I mean, we have a lot of outs to Dragoon in this deck. Because don't forget that Meltdown prevents negation of your fusion spells.
Alright, they can't really stop you, and then,
they cannot negate Invocation. So then you just run over the Dragoon. The side, pretty mandatory, I'd say, against the Buster Lock and the Dragoon, is Gamma Seal.
Recommendations, now that the Buster Lock is not...
I was thinking about Lancia, or just putting more traps and focus on going first.
Okay.
But we'll see how it goes. Plenty of testing to do, because the list only just dropped. We got 1 Pancratops.
Yeah.
Pretty standard, especially in a deck that likes to kill. 3 Ogres. So like this, I guess, is the most generic hand trap after the 9/9 main. Because it can just trade with a needle fiber, or with anything Dragon Link in general.
Okay.
Same for Isolde and Infernal Knights. So it's pretty good form of removal.
But you didn't want to main it because of Virtual World.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do much against Virtual World, to say nothing. And even to Zoo right now, like, people figured out that they don't have to activate their Zoo effects. So they just make Trident, set a few cards, and pass. So it doesn't do much there. Next, the spells, we have 3 Mistaken Arrest.
Okay, why this one?
Well, I saw Isala's deck profile of Zoo Eldlich, and he made a good point in the fact that in his deck, he wanted to have as much chainable cards as possible, like chainable Floodgates. And I figured, like, Invoked works similarly to Zoo, in the sense that you have 1 boss monster that you're trying to protect, and every turn you get more advantage. So I went with these instead of Ice Dragon Prison, especially because, like, it hurts every deck of the format. There's not a single deck where this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, like, when your opponent Fairy Dusters you, because you have a lot of back row sometimes, for example, Book of Moon and Droplet, you can just chain this and not care.
Okay.
Then we have 3 Cyclones. So pretty standard, especially against Eldlich, because it started gaining popularity. Then we have the final 2 cards. Fire Duster.
Yep.
Because it's that good.
Yeah, it's a really
You need to play it. There's no other way to say it. And the final card in my side deck, Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So, if you noticed earlier, I am playing 2 Maximuses.
Yeah.
That's because Maximus is very big, and he's a spellcaster. And most of my turn 1s end on Mechaba with Ecclesia and Maximus. So if you have, like, Terraforming, and you already access to your Invoked engine, you can search the Secret Village. And now your board is immune to Lightning Storm, Faraduster. Dragon Links cannot play because they can activate field spells or equips. So you just, like, win every game that you shouldn't.
Okay. I noticed you weren't maining nor siding the Shaddoll package. Is there a reason for this?
I just think that a lot of decks have outs to the Shaddoll package.
Okay.
For example, even Prank Kids is playing Droplets. It's like Windows should kill them, but if they open droplets, you search a card that's doing nothing.
Okay.
Like it's good in the grand game, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like having breaks either. So
Yeah, I've definitely seen people like yourself main chainable back row removal like Cyclone instead of playing things like Lightning Storm, and that actually just heals the Schism.
yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, like Cosmic hurts Schism a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Really, that's a given. All right. Well, do you have any other remarks on the list on how it performed and what things you change?
It performed really well. I mean, I think it's one of the most consistent decks ever, because you have like 13 starters or something like that. So, I mean, it wasn't up to luck. It was just like me piloting the deck to what I thought were good plays and everything.
Do you have any shoutouts now?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Brawlers for organizing this tournament. Hey, David. And I would also like to shout out Nebar Santibanez, because he showed me how to set up my remote duel thing, because I was really lost.
For the tech support, all right. Well, congratulations for your first place,
Thank you.
Thanks for the deck profile.
Thanks a lot.